for holding this hearing. When it comes to the integrity of our nation's water infrastructure, Americans living along the shores of our nation's 5 Great Lakes know all too well the importance of quality investments. For years, we have experienced an uptick in severe and costly flooding, which hammers communities like mine on the southern shore of Lake Ontario. We can no longer afford to wait and see if yet again our shores will flood. It is time to take the necessary steps to invest in preparation and protect our communities. I'm grateful to this committee for taking up the mantle to reauthorize the Water Resource and Development Act. I also appreciate this opportunity to share just how important high-quality and sustainable water infrastructure is to my district of Rochester, New York, as well as all communities living along the shores of the Great Lakes or within the Great Lakes Basin. Often referred to as our nation's 4th seacoast, the power and expanse of the Great Lakes is no mystery to those living along her shores. Spanning a total surface area of nearly 95,000 square miles and accounting for more than 20% of the world's surface freshwater, the Great Lakes have inspired explorers, environmentalists, and artists from near and far for generations. But with the sense of awe comes a level of respect for the raw power of these natural wonders. As residents of the southern shore of Lake Ontario, my constituents know that it can be challenging to live in tandem with the Great Lakes, especially as increased climate instability leads to spikes in severe weather patterns, rising sea levels, and destroyed ecosystems. As natural disasters increase in frequency, our communities pay the price through destroyed infrastructure and economic instability. With 100 miles of shoreline that fronts directly on Lake Ontario or nearby bays, rivers, and streams, my district is regularly impacted by lake fluctuations, and we are experiencing more severe flood waters that erode beaches, devastate family homes, and cripple lakeside businesses. In 2017, a major disaster declaration was declared in 8 New York counties due to severe flooding along the shore of Lake Ontario. This extensive flooding cost the state of New York $100 million in recovery funding. Again, in 2019, we saw record high water levels leading to a state of emergency declaration by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. According to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the water level on Lake Ontario is currently 246.42 feet, nearly 2 feet above the average level for this time of year. Such extremes foreshadow yet another year of unprecedented water levels in the spring, and my community will again face severe, if not record, flooding. While my colleagues along the southern shore and I continue to push for maximum outflows of water through the Moses Saunders Dam in order to lower the lake levels ahead of spring flooding, we are troubled by the International Joint Commission's Plan 2014 and recently heard that outflows will decrease come April 1. We will not cease our efforts to lower lake levels, but we cannot afford to wait for the IJC to prioritize the livelihood of our constituents, and so we turn to preparation and response. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is a key asset of our region when it comes to preparing and responding to flooding incidents, and it is critical that we not only reauthorize the U.S. Army Corps, but ensure the continuation of projects related to flood protection and control and ecosystem restoration. Additionally, we must authorize new Army Corps studies and projects that will help communities enact plans to become sustainable and resilient against future disasters. As you assess new Army Corps studies, I ask that the committee consider the Great Lakes Coastal Resiliency Study, a proposal supported by 29 members of the House whose districts border the Great Lakes. The proposal outlined in H.R. 4032 would allow the Army Corps of Engineers to partner with the 8 Great Lakes states on assessing threats and resiliency measures for coastal communities. This study will help to ensure we are utilizing resources efficiently and effectively to better protect our communities from future storms. As so many communities throughout the country face devastation from natural disasters, which often hit the same region year after year with worsening impacts, we can no longer afford to react in the aftermath of destruction. We must take preventative measures and strong investments through the WRDA reauthorization, and that's a great place to start. So I want to thank you, Chairwoman Napolitano, Chairman DeFazio, the ranking member, for starting this process and for the opportunity to come to speak here today. I look forward to following the committee's work as you begin to reauthorize WRDA and hope we can find common ground to help communities along the Great Lakes access high-quality and sustainable water infrastructure. Thank you for your time.
Sir, thank you for your testimony. And